Hello, everyone. I'm just waiting to see if I need to verify for the recording, but it's not coming up this time, so I'm assuming we're good to go. Not verifying it. All right, so I'm just going to assume. I hope those at home can hear. This is kind of an experiment for me. I don't usually use this microphone thing, so I'm feeling like a celebrity, but not really at all. But welcome, everyone, and those watching at home or maybe watching the recording later. This is a 15-minute deep stretch yoga class with meditation, so welcome. And as usual, we're going to start with the meditative section. So if you're seated, I'm sitting on a block. I did bring my blocks to this room at the church. Hopefully you've got something to sit on, bolster maybe, or just a cushion. And we're going to take a moment, just shut your eyes down and just see how that changes how you feel. You can come more inward and not be worried about the distractions around you. So that's step one. And then from here, I'm going to set you up into a great meditation posture. Even if you've done this a lot of times, it's nice just to have a little gentle reminder. So taking a moment to feel your spine, head, and neck all in one straight line. And then pulling your shoulders down and away from your ears. And so if someone was to look at you from behind, you would see that beautiful straight line. And then bring your attention to your chin and see that your chin is neutral. So it's not jutting out forward, but nor is it coming down to your collarbone. Your neck is long. You have a golden thread pulling your head towards the sky. Then take a moment to decide your hand position, what we've been doing throughout this series, but you can do whatever you want, but hands up can be a nice way just to pull the energy from everyone on screen or in the room. Palms down is a really nice way to feel grounded if you feel like too much stuff is swirling around in your head. Or maybe you have a mudra. A mudra is just a hand position that works best for you. So taking a moment to choose. Some people just like to have their hands gently in their lap. So you decide. And now just bring your attention to your breath. So in yoga and meditation, we try, if possible, to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Smooth, gentle breaths. Take a moment now just to scan the body and see if you're feeling anything, maybe from your cross-legged position, if you're feeling something in your knees or back, or anything else that's going on, just notice. And it's a good time to remind yourself that at any time, if anything hurts, if you have any pain, you can come out of a pose, even this introductory pose, you can come out of. Then bring your attention to your mind, which is usually as much of, if not more, of an obstacle than the actual body. So the thoughts that are swirling around, bubbling up. And those fall in two categories, either thinking about something that already happened today or this weekend or yesterday, or those thoughts of future. So whichever category you're in, just try to come back to this peaceful place by focusing on your breath. I'm going to read something today about taking care of ourselves, and all you have to do is listen to my voice in the background, taking those deep inhales and deep exhales. And this is from Thich Nhat Hanh, who died earlier this year, a Buddhist monk. We have to learn how to take care of ourselves throughout the day, while walking, sitting, eating, or even brushing our teeth. Our home is made up of our body, feelings, emotions, perceptions, and consciousness. The territory of our home is large, and we are the monarch who is responsible for it. We should know how to go home to ourselves and take care of our body and our mind. Mindfulness can help, Suppose we have pain, tension, and stress in our bodies. The first step is to go back to our body and take care of it. We can do this by taking a moment to be still and say, breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of the tension in my body. So we're going to do that for our meditation today. It's almost like a mantra meditation. Some people are real traditionalists and say a mantra has to be in Sanskrit. I don't think it really matters, but you're going to say silently to yourself, breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of all the tensions in my body. I'll say that one more time. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of all the tension in my body. So I'm just going to time that for 1 minute starting now. So you're just going to repeat that if you want to call it a mantra to yourself or an affirmation. And notice if your mind has wandered already, just in a few seconds, just bring it back, saying that a few more times. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of all the tension in my body. And from here, gently flutter your eyes open and just see in that very short time if you've created some calm, maybe not, maybe you needed longer to settle your mind, but it's a good start. And maybe you can repeat that mantra in the future if you just need a couple of minutes of peace. So from here, we're going to move off your block or whatever you might be sitting on. And I find that even a couple minutes of cross-legged feels like a lot since we don't do it all day. So feel free to stretch out already and just shake out, maybe go kind of side to side with your feet and your legs, because you will be coming back to the cross-legged position here again. So coming back to cross-legged position, we're going to do some movement now. So we're going to do great big circles, hip circles. Maybe you come really close to the floor. Maybe you grab your knees and pull back. Just going back and forth. We're going the same direction, just doing some very gentle movement to warm up the hips. So as far as this class goes in May, we're doing every other week. So not next week, the week after, and you do have an opportunity to come into the church. Let's go the other way if you'd like to meet in person, which is really nice, so I can see your faces. 216 in the main building. That's where we are today. This. And then coming back to center, that beautiful straight spine. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana, also called butterfly pose or cobbler's pose. So I've got it pretty tight here where my heels are in pretty close. If that's too much, you can always bend out a little bit more. So from here, we're just going to flap our butterfly wings and just notice how right away that gets into our inner thighs. And notice if you have the tendency, as I do already, to kind of be slouching up or back. So keeping a straight spine. Deep breaths in, through the nose if possible, and deep breaths out. Do 2 more like that. Deep breath in, filling your lungs. Let all the tension of the day go. And last time, inhale and exhale. And pause. See if you can pull your legs a little closer to the floor, maybe just a millimeter. Maybe 1 more. All right, from here, going to move into seated star. I'm just going to move to the side. So, Baddha Konasana is pretty tight. Seated star, we've got a little bit more space. So, giving yourself some space. And then we're going to lean forward. So, maybe you stop here if you start to feel a stretch. Maybe you need to go deeper to feel it. So, get to a point where you feel a good stretch. Remember, we never want pain, and so pain can be described as electrical, throbbing, numbness, tingling. If any of that's going on, just come out of the pose anytime. So from here, just going to take some deep breaths in and out. Notice again, if your mind is wandering, you always can go back to that mantra that we started at the beginning at any time. You can always come back to that if that helps settle your mind. And then very gently walk yourself. Just pause at the top. Now we're going to do a great big wide stance here. So your great big V, feet up. So notice if you have a tendency to point your feet, dancers often do that in yoga. We usually try to stay grounded as much as possible. So our feet are usually up. Again, this is an opportunity for a prop as we start coming forward. You can stay here. Maybe you come down on your elbows. Maybe you've got 1 block or even 2. So it could look something like this, right? Wherever you are, just feeling the stretch, not worrying about too much what it looks like. Just coming into your deep breaths. If you start to feel some openness in your inner thighs, only then will you start walking your hands a little bit. Couple more breaths. Maybe that's your sign to go a little bit deeper, stretch a little bit more. Work, feet flat on the mat, and just do a few of these windshield wipers back and forth. So the next pose we're going to do is head to knee pose, and you might like to have a strap. This is one that a lot of people like a strap. So I'm going to start with the right leg out, left on the inside of the thigh. So if you have your strap, it would be over the right foot if you need it. So you're going to reach your arms up, shoot your heart forward, and maybe grab the top of your foot or your shin, or again, if you've got the strap, you can place it around the ball of your foot. So notice if you're having a tendency to really round, which is our tendency all day. So you're shining your heart up, that's it, shining your heart forward. And in these long moments of pause, just noticing if it's difficult to keep your mind focused, if you are thinking about maybe what the next pose might be, or what you're doing later today, just keep bringing it back, realizing we only have a 15-minute class, so just trying to stay focused. 2 more breaths here. And then walking yourself up, use paws at the top, both feet flat on the mat, just as a transition before going to the other side. Just doing a few of these windshield wipers. And then when you're ready, opposite leg, so left leg out, right is on the inside of that thigh. And you're gonna reach your arms up and reach forward. Staying here, I'm just gonna turn so my back isn't to anyone. So just taking a moment and stay in this pose for a few more breaths. Just notice how that inner thigh, hamstring starts to release a little bit. How about 2 more breaths? Let it go. And last one. Deep breath in. It works. You gently walk yourself up. Good job. Let's do a few more windshield wipers. So the next option, 2 options. Option 1 is called shoelace pose. And if that isn't working for you today, you can do seated pigeon. So I'm going to show you shoelace pose. We've got the left leg bent right on top and the knees are stacked. Now again, you might have more space here, that doesn't matter, but you just want to make sure this feels okay with your knees, all right? If this is not working for you today, the left leg can be bent and the right leg crossed over so it looks like this. And if you aren't feeling it right away, you can walk this foot in. So it's kind of like this, right? Same stretch, we're just trying to stretch the hip. So take a moment to decide which one of those is going to work for you. If you're in the shoelace pose and you can, maybe pull your ankles a little bit closer to the hip bones. And then just pause here. Maybe this is enough. The next option, which is really nice, is just to come forward. A couple more deep breaths here, just breathing into that hip. Again, throughout the whole class, if you'd like, you can come back to that mantra, breathing in, I am aware of my full body. Breathing out, let go of all the tension in my body. Or maybe you would like to phrase that a different way. Whatever works for you, just to keep your mind focused is all we're trying to do. And one more breath here, in either your pigeon or your shoelace pose. And then walking yourself back. Just make the switch. So switching either pigeon or the shoelace pose. Trying to stack. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start going forward. Feel that hip. It's a pretty gentle. There are different degrees of hip stretches. Maybe more gentle, some more gentle and moderate ones. And see how it's feeling for you today. Two more breaths. Breathing. Last one. Walking yourself back up, crossing your legs, maybe going side to side again. And then coming back to a cross-legged position, I'm going to do some twists, twisting out the spine. So taking the fingertips on the shoulders, you're going to twist to the right, look over your right shoulder, perfect. And then back to center. So on your shoulder, left, center. Two more twists, look over your right shoulder, center, and twist, Release your arms, straight spine still. Inhale up, this time left hand behind that right knee, right hand on the floor. We're gonna look over in this first one, just holding for a moment. And notice if your belly's twisting or if your belly's staying towards the screen. Make sure your belly's twisting. That's what we're trying to do here. Over that shoulder. Breath. And then both hands up, shoulders back and down. So we never want to get to the situation where we're like this. So we're pulling down and then going to the other side. Straight spine, look over the left shoulder. Inhale out. And so we're going to do that again, but just not pause as much. So twist to the right, look behind, and up. Twist to the left. Each way, up, and twist. And back up, and twist. And back to center. So the last type of twist I want to do is a lateral, so a side twist. So right hand's going to be out, spread your fingers wide, give yourself some space between your leg and your arm. And we're just going to reach. Lateral stretches usually feel really good because it's something our body craves or needs. A couple breaths here. The first one, we just stay a little longer. And then release, other side. Again, giving yourself a little bit of space and stretching. Back to the first side. Reaching, if you can, turn your gaze towards the sky. Bring out your belly. Look back down at your hand, gently push yourself up, other side, reach, reach, reach. And turn your gaze towards the sky. On this last one, if you can, you're going to place your forearm down on the mat. Now, if this makes your opposite sit bone come up, got it, good, then you'll just come back to the hands. So reach, 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 and then turn your gaze again towards the sky. Look back down at your hand, gently push yourself up. Let's move to the other side, either on the forearm or on the hand. Reach, reach, and then turn your gaze. Gently push yourself down, stretch the legs out. I'm going to do one more stretch here before we move to hands and knees. So this is a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to start in Dandasana or staff pose. So sitting up nice and straight, shoulders back and down. Just notice that this is not the easiest pose. Feet flex towards you, you got it. So just try this sometime if you think this is an easy pose. Watch something on Netflix, a program or something. Sitting like this is hard. It really engages your abs. So just feel your abs engaged. Now inhale, arms up. We're going to shoot forward, hinging at the hips. So we're just going to go back and forth a couple of times. So inhale back up, shoulders down, perfect. And then reach forward. Last one. Inhale up, shoulders down, hinge forward, and this is where you stay. Now remember, if you can't easily grab your toes, you might be using a strap or just having your hands at your shins. That's okay. What we do in deep stretch, we pause and hold a little longer than we would normally. So just coming into that breath. Maybe coming back into your mantra, maybe just focusing on your breath, listening to your breath, maybe feeling your hamstrings release. And then walk yourself back up and just pause here for a moment. Cross our ankles and come to hands and knees. So there's always an opportunity to put some padding under your knees to roll up your mat a little bit. We're on hardwood floors here, so it can be noticeable. So trying to become neutral, a neutral spine is not easy, and I've been noticing a lot with my students that we all seem to have a tendency. Either we're kind of doing this, which is our cow pose, right? We're dropping our belly, or we're kind of arching all of the time. So what would neutral look like? Neutral's hard because you have to pull your belly up and in a little bit. The feeling what neutral is, and from there, you're moving into your cow. So now drop your belly and your tailbone is up, and you look up. And then arching, pulling your belly in. This is your cat pose. Inhale, drop. And exhale. So we always, in a yoga class, want to warm up the spine all 6 directions. So those are the 2 twists you did both ways. The lateral stretches. And then we flex and extend the spine. So almost every class you'll go to, no matter what the type of yoga, we'll see these similar types of movements. Back into your cat pose, and then back to neutral. So just notice if you lost track of your breath, or you're still inhaling and exhaling, that's a big part of yoga. So the left leg's going to go out, and you're going to turn your pinky toe down. So instead of opening the hip like this, right, you're squaring it out, and then the right arm comes up. Just going to pause here and feel our abdominal muscles pulling up and in. This shouldn't be super easy if you hang out here for a while. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand on the mat. Left leg's going to cross over. And so you're going to go way, way, way as far as you can go. If you're really flexible, you might go really far. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder like you're trying to figure out what's at the bottom of my foot. And you just pause here. You're going to come out of this long arm, long leg again. Option 1, you just stay here and breathe through it. Option 2, reach around, grab the top of your foot, kick the knee up. If you're doing this half bow, 2 options. You can look at your hand to steady yourself, your left hand. If you want to challenge your balance, you look at the extended foot, and it's a little more wobbly. Really good. Good job. And from here, extend the arm and the leg long, and then come into your child's pose. So I always like child's pose to be as wide as I can get, so I can open up some space in my hips. So calming down. Right, so your head's going to be on the mat. I've got this microphone, so I'm not doing that, but you're going to have your forehead all the way down on the mat if you can. And once you get there with your forehead all the way on the mat, you got it? Good. Yeah, good. You can go from left to right, massaging that third eye center. Yep, that's it, exactly. That's very soothing. That's when I was teaching children, and then they would come to class. It was either 2 ways. They would either be super, super energetic, almost everyone, or they would be super, super lethargic. It was always one or the other. And if they were super, super energetic, this is what we would do. It helps calm the nervous system just a little bit. All right, we're going to come back up to tabletop. We need to do that whole series on the other side. So the right leg this time, pinky toe down, and again, we're squaring up the hips. So what I usually see is kind of this, right? Where we're trying to square, and opposite arm. And you're just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand, right foot now is crossing over. That stuff in the way. All right, walk, walk, walk. Sorry, all the stuff here. So up on the toes, looking over the shoulder at the bottom of the foot. Just pause there. And then leg long, arm long. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you reach around and work on your half bow pose. Remember, there's two options. You can look at the grounded hands are behind you. I don't know. It's so weird not to have Quincy here, my puppy, getting over with me, just to try and monitor what he's doing the whole time as well, not get him into trouble. All right, here we go. Long arm, long leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good work. Into puppy pose. This is a little different than child's pose. So this one, you keep your seat up. You can come on the forearms like this, or the full extension. This is also called melt and heart pose, because you can extend those arms. And again, I'm not coming all the way on my forehead because I have a mic here, but you're going to come all the way on your forehead, and then you're going to start pulling your armpits down. If you've got it, that's perfect. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. So if the arms are extended and you're pulling the armpits down, you can feel a really nice stretch in that area. So that's our goal. One more breath here in your melting heart pose. And walk yourself back up. And I want to stretch the shoulders a little bit. So I'm going to do what's called eagle arms. So you can do it from cross-legged or any type of leg position. I'm not going to cue that for you today. You could even do this from a chair. We have both our arms out. The right's going to be on the bottom, right on the bottom. You're going to cross at the elbows, maybe at the wrists again, and then palms. You got it. And we're just going to pulse up and look up, stretch out our shoulders a little bit. Here we go. 10. 10's kind of a lot. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold at the top. And now you're going to do circles clockwise. So great big circle, and then pause at the top. One more clockwise, back at the top. And now go counterclockwise. Great big circle at the top, and then counterclockwise again. At the top. Now tilt your hands a little bit to the right, to the left, right, to the left, and uncross. That can be deep. That's a lot. I know, that's a lot. Let's shake out the legs a little bit as well. We need to do the other side. So hopefully you're feeling that deep in the shoulder. It's a nice release, especially for people who are like this all day, which is most of us. All right, so we're getting ready to get into the shoulders on the other side. So arms out, right on bottom this time, crossing around, palms touch. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause at the top, great big circle, and clockwise, pause at the top, other way, pause at the top, and then tilt your hands a little bit to the right, and center, a little bit to the left, and center, maybe one more time, right, and center, and left, and center. That one needs a sigh. That one's a lot. Might feel good just to take one arm, doesn't matter which one, just kind of pull it over, rotate your wrist, and then do the same thing on the other side. All right, we're going to come back to hands and knees again and do the first downward dog of the class so far. So curling the toes under, spreading your fingers wide. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hips go up, heels towards the mat. So you're in that perfect V shape. I'm just going to pause here for a little bit. And then we're going to walk our dog just by simply bending one knee. How are your calves feeling today? Just checking it out. Last thing from here, do our heel raises. So we're going to come up on your tippy toes and down and all the way up and down. 2 more. From here, ground the left leg, right leg high. You can go as high as you can get. So you can do almost a split stretch, or maybe you're lower like this. That's fine. We're just doing a nice stretch as a transition as you step into a runner's lunge with the right knee on the mat. So again, an opportunity for blocks for this one. It's always nice if you've got them. So we're looking like this in our runner's lunge. We're just going to have that knee go a little bit forward, not past the big toe, but just a little bit forward. So pulsing down and up, trying to get into the hip. Down, up, 2 more. Last one. And now pull the knee so it's right over the ankle, right over the ankle. So leaving it there. Imagine your legs are like scissors and they're coming a little closer together. So feel that engagement at the core, and then release your hands. We're going to do our steeple mudra, so our index fingers touching as we reach. 2 more breaths here. It's a nice back stretch. And then hands to prayer center. Notice how when you hands now, third eye center, it gets wobbly. It's a little bit wobbly, that's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Release your hands to the floor or the block, left hand, big toe side, right arm up, do another twist. And if you can, come off the back knee, or you can just stay where you were. Yep, you got it. Stay here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes down, hand frames that foot. This right leg is going to shoot back up again. So you're back into that split stretch, just folding it. And out. 1 more. And release down. Getting ready for the other side. Round the right leg. Left leg high. Stepping forward. Knee on the mat. Those blocks here. So for this first part, we always like to keep our knee right over the ankle, but we're going to pulse it a little past that just for a few times. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now pull it back. So see, now I'm not in the right position, so I'm pulling it back and then releasing hands in that steeple position. Reach back. Do a nice back stretch. And then hands to prayer. 1 more breath. Third eye center. And release down. Right hand, big toe side, left arm up, staying here or coming off the back knee. And then hands framing the foot. You're back into your runner's lunge. And then stepping back into downward dog. 2 more breaths here. Maybe the heels go a little bit closer to the floor. From here, ground the left leg, right leg high. You're going to step forward to the runner's lunge, but this time the back knee's off the mat. Got my blocks on either side of the foot. From runner's lunge, going to straighten out into pyramid. So both legs are straight. So from pyramid, right hip back, left hip forward, and then shine your heart forward. And then try to move smoothly and fluidly between those two. So you bend the front knee, up, and then you straighten. And straighten. 2 more. Last one, and hold your pyramid pose. That's an asana, intense stretch. So if it feels intense, you're doing it correctly. Back knee comes down, frame the foot. Just for fun, let's shoot that leg back up again. A nice stretch. As if we were kicking that right foot all the way over the head. Other side, right leg, left foot high. Step forward into your runner's lunge with the back knee off the mat. And then straightening both legs. So the first time you might, or 2 or 3 times even, you might need to adjust the back foot to see what works. But the goal is to move fluidly between the bent leg and the straight leg here without having to keep moving your foot position too much. Do more nice fluid movements. And the next time you get into the pyramid, that's where both legs are straight. The subtle movement, but it can help you feel it more intensely. The left hip goes back, right hip forward, and shine your heart forward. 2 more breaths. And back knee comes on the mat. You're back into a runner's lunge. Hands are going to frame that left foot. And you're going to shoot it up, 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 up. Last time. Back into down, down. And then one knee down, other knee down. Into your child's pose again. Taking a moment of rest here. Here, coming to a seated position. Just as a transition, we're going to go onto our backs and do a few stretches here. So I like to come down on my back slowly just to engage the abs. One more time, instead of just flopping down. So arms out, and then we come down really slowly. So let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and you're on your back. So this first pose we're going to do on our back is happy baby. So bend your knees, hands outside pinky toe side. So your fingers are on the inside of your arches, and you're pulling your feet down, and then you're kicking your feet into your hands. So it's like a pushing down, kicking up. So there's some real energy at the contact place of your hand, foot. Maybe you go side to side, like a happy baby. Maybe just stay stationary. So see what feels good for you. And from here, both feet on the mat, hip distance apart. We're going to do one bridge before we do our spinal stretch. So feet are hip distance apart, fingertips touching. And from here, we're going to inhale here. Exhale, lift your hips up. So this is actually considered a back bend. So knees are straight forward, they're not splaying out to the side. Just pause here, or maybe tuck one shoulder under and the other shoulder under and get it deeper back. You decide. 2 more breaths here. Tuck the shoulders if you did that far, one at a time. Come down very slowly. So it's upper back, middle back, lower back, stay back, and then do a few of those shoulder wipers back and forth. And then getting ready for the spine stretch. So the left leg's going to be long. You're going to put your right knee in, knee to nose. Pull that right knee across the body, right arm long. And maybe look over your right hand. Just taking a moment to pause in this pose. It's very relaxing pose, twisting the spine, just relax. And then hugging that right knee in again, leave the nose. And that leg goes longer. Switch sides. So left leg comes in, hold it as tight as you can, cross over the body, left arm out, over the left hand. And pulling back in. Getting ready for Shavasana. So your legs are going to be out. Now, if you prefer not to lie on your back, you're just going to move to the seated position, or even on a chair. And just closing your eyes. We're just trying to take these last couple of moments. For actually a couple of minutes. Just come back to your breath and relaxing. It might be helpful to come back to the mantra that you started with today. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of the tension in my body. Breathing in, I'm aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I let go of the tension in my body. So if that's helpful, just repeating that mantra to yourself a few more times. And if your mind has wandered, either come to the breath or come to your mantra. But try to bring it gently back. From here, just start waking up. So wiggling your toes. Maybe it would feel good to have a great big stretch overhead. So you decide, maybe side to side. Whatever feels good, you're going to end up on your right side. Use your arms as a pillow. Just pause there for a second, just as a transition. And gently pushing yourself back up. From here, so we have our hands at prayer center, taking a moment of gratitude for being able to practice together today, just being able to do these poses, grateful for the physical body. So that we'll have a great Monday or whenever you're watching this. Thank you, everyone. Do you have someone here, maybe? Hope the volume was okay. This was all a new thing, so we'll see how it goes in 2 weeks. Hopefully, see some of you in 2 weeks. To end it, but we're done.
I don't know, please take attention. Oh, that's wonderful. So good. here. It's blocked. There's some of those like I try to stretch, like, oh, yeah, this is a tough stretch.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good though, yeah, my daughter used to walk too. It's not cockroach.
You're a very flexible, you're a good model here for me.
Oh, oh,
So
yeah.
you do a lot of yoga.
I don't actually, but I do exercise. I do like cardio and weights.
Yeah.
And so usually beginning and there's some good stretches.
You do that on your own?
I do. I started with the firm when I came like the regular firm was a whole extra firm. I had the 80s. Really old. So I got like, but I don't do it as regularly as I used to. But anyway.
Just do it on your own. That's a lot of motivation. I think more than going to a class, you just go.
Yes, and you pay for it.
Right.
So it is, and I just know when I stopped doing it, I get some pains, you know. Wow, what a difference.
Now you're very flexible. I assume you did a lot of yoga.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
watching you.
No, I think I just got a gift from God from the flexibility. Yeah.
Here, okay.
I
I
know.
didn't know if like when my head went down, it was taking the mic. Yeah, because I don't know what. I
Yeah.
guess we'll find out.
Well,
All of that.
I'm gonna encourage other people to come to class. I think it's nice to have these.
Yeah. I think one of the first Lynn was up there, he's my neighbor.
Oh,
Just, I think, first said to do it. He's like, I don't want people to do it. He's kind of jumping around the church yesterday. So,
yeah. I think my husband's gonna be when our friends, and my husband used to do yoga. And so. And we're like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah. So,
Especially with a group of women like that.
right. It was nice to see how you here and I could like see what you were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very helpful.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Thank you again. And they want to make yoga because really for my teacher, they want to be yoga. So, and London does it work for you. If you can switch it to, and I don't know if it is better. than what they do. And also see if they did tolerate the weights. Claire did it 2 years ago or so. She was the assistant pastor. She's been into it, and I'd love to know, do probably go too fast, or more yoga, or mindfulness.
Yeah.
An idea of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mix up the classes where there's more yoga, less mindfulness, or vice versa? Or do you like to stick to?
I always do a little bit at the beginning like that and a little bit at the end.
Yes.
But I teach different types. So this is the class that the college or say structure.
Yeah.
And then also teach the classes where we're doing push-ups. Acid flow, which is not good at the beginner level. So this is more that anyone can do. So like you're really flexible, so you can go really deep into them, but even if you're not, you still get something out of it.
Right.
So that's just great.
That's what I love about it too. And I think people tend to like look at